Hey everybody, I know we're still trying to navigate everything. We're trying to work our way through this. I hope you're leaning on the Lord, leaning on His Word. I've been trying to read this book, The Rest of God, for several months. I haven't done a good job on it because I'm only about a quarter of a way through, but every time I pick it up, I feel like it speaks directly to where I'm at for that day. So I just wanted to share this one thing. When Paul and Silas were thrown into the jail, and you know the story, for doing something good, that was their reward, was to be put in prison and to go into the pit and the dungeon and have a huge trial come into their life. They could have given up, but what did they do? They sang. They praised God in the prison. And we've heard this story so many times. But when we think about Romans 8:28, how He works all things together for the good, it doesn't mean that He works only some things. He works the good and the bad together. Not everything that happens is good, but He has a way of working that out and blessing us. So the way that we can participate in that kind of thinking is to be thankful. Now, you're like, how can I be thankful for this COVID virus? How in the world? You know what? They just sang. They just worshiped. They rejoiced in their suffering. They counted pure joy to go through their trials. They worshiped the God who took the junk and made it into something beautiful. That spoke to me today. The miracle, as it goes on to say, wasn't that, and wasn't the earthquake and how the chains fell off the prisoners. We talk about that a lot, chains being broken. But when the jailer was about to kill himself, and because he might as well have died if his people would have gotten out of prison, but there was a voice that rang out in Acts 16:28 saying, "We're all here." That's mind-blowing to me, that Paul and Silas, they had a relationship with God. But for people that didn't, criminals, people who didn't live for God, to be so impacted by the way they worshiped God through their trial, that they wanted to know the God that Paul and Silas served. That's pretty amazing. They just sat and listened to Paul and Silas singing in the rain and singing through their pain and singing through their agony and lifting a voice of thanksgiving. That ministered to the prisoners. They could have left. We would have not heard about them. They had every right to leave, right? Their chains were broken, but they chose to say, "We're all here." So I guess what I'm thinking about is, are we being like Paul and Silas through all of this? Are we shining our light with our tools at hand, with our resources that we have right now? I have my phone. I have, that's all I've got. Social media. Those are my resources to be a light right now. But the jailer came up to Paul and Silas, and we know the story. He said, "What do I have to do to be saved?" He and his whole household were saved. What do I have to do to meet the God that the God that inspires thankfulness no matter what? A God who can subdue the hardest heart, the God who can put into the hearts of the captives compassion for their captor. What kind of God is it that you serve, that you can give thanks in the middle of quarantine, in the middle of not being able to meet together for church? Of course, they're all here. They have just found the God who can set the prisoner guard free, who can break the chains. He has a way of turning our hearts around. He has a way of making something beautiful from absolute junk. He's going to make something beautiful out of this time that we're having right now. And in the meantime, He's going to do a work through us so that other people are going to be ministered to through our peace, through our joy, through our worship in hard times. He's going to do it through us. So that spoke to me today. I hope it blesses you. Be encouraged. Worship Him. Just worship Him. Doesn't mean you're not going to yell at your kids. Doesn't mean you're going to have a good day every day. Doesn't mean you're not going to go stir crazy. But if you will give peace and bring peace wherever you are, I'm telling you, God is going to minister through you in a way that you've never imagined. I love you. Hang in there.